Sharpening stones can be a pretty significant investment, but it's a great way to keep your tools in top form. However, something a little unfortunate happened here in the Woodsmith shop. Two of our Waterstones fell off of the bench and onto the concrete floor. And as you can see, they didn't fare too well. But rather than just crying over spilled milk and thinking that these are a lost cause, there are a couple of ways to be able to salvage the situation. The first is for something like this one, where you have most of the pieces, they're in pretty good shape, and the chunks are pretty large. What I'm going to do is take some epoxy, and I can squeeze it out onto the faces where the cut edges are, and I'm going to glue the stone back together. You can be pretty generous with the epoxy, and the thing here is you want to make sure that you do it when the stone is completely dry. And I'm doing this on a melamine board so that the stone isn't glued to the bench top. Get the pieces in their rough shape, and then I'll pull a clamp across. You just need to bring the pieces together. Once the epoxy dries, you can flatten the Waterstone just like you typically would in order to maintain it. Then it'll be practically as good as new and you can get a lot of use out of it. Now for this one, well, let's just say that this one really isn't salvageable. So I can't glue it back together, but I can start to use the smaller pieces in other ways. I can take this bigger one, for example, and clean up the edges of it and use it for sharpening pocket knives or small carving knives. The other thing you can do is to find pieces that have a profile to them and turn them into custom slipstones. Now a slipstone is nothing more than a sharpening stone, but it's for a tool with a curved edge, like my carving gouge here. So what I can do is take some sandpaper. This will take a little bit of time, but I can start to shape and profile the edge until I get something that matches the profile of my carving gouge. So now I can use the slipstone as a way to keep my carving gouge in top shape. So it's another way to be able to take a disastrous situation, turn it around, and have it be something useful for your shop.